are spamming. Wait, I have a question. Yes, burrito. Wait, I have a question. How are those habits going? I started a little habit break or a challenge because typically I like to do a little habit break or a challenge with every single mastermind, just to prove to the mastermind jits that not only are they doing it with themselves, they're doing it with their mentor too. So today was my first day off of caffeine, and bro, I don't know how fucking long it's been since I haven't had caffeine in a single day. So that's big time for me. And I'm not gonna lie, this morning I was really suffering, but today I actually feel really fucking good. So definitely challenging, but I punish myself if I break. Bro, there should be no if I break. And also, this should just go to show, like, I already quit weed with, like, the very first mastermind ever. That was, like, 6 months ago. And I was able to cut that out. And then I forget what I did with last mastermind. I think what did I do? I can't even remember. I think I was doing like cold plunges or something. And this time I'm doing caffeine. I'm gonna run out of shit to kick eventually, but we'll find different things that I can do to keep myself disciplined along with you guys. I have a quick little question. Just now while chat is open. Drop down below what the habits you guys wanted to quit were. Weed, porn. Lots of weed, porn, and vaping and nicotine. So we can see that the big three of our group is porn, weed, and nicotine. Sleeping in and death scrolling, screen time, that's a really good one. Not reading the Bible every day. That's a good one right there. Beating my Johnson. Let's try not to do that. No shot you got 300 people to drop their bad habits overnight. I would hope so. And I would hope that it's more than 300. But anyways, bro, I have this big ass ingrown hair on my thigh, and I think it's like infected. It's literally bright red. But anyways, we're getting into risk management today. And again, because I'm off caffeine, forgive me if I'm a little bit less animate and a little bit more tired, but also, is sex okay? I think sex is cool. Chill, bruh. Yeah, bro. Come on. Like, there's literally people in here that say, oh, I want to quit porn, and then you get in here and you post that. Like, bro. Okay. Pause the chat, bro. Fuck. Jeez, bro. Y'all are definitely more ambitious than the other groups, but y'all, y'all gotta, bro, like, you guys need to control your energy and redirect it towards beneficial shit instead of finding gifs of Jounce literally shaking ass. and spamming emotes and just spamming in chat. Okay, but anyways, let's get into part of this. We might have to open up chat one more time because wanted to check in on you guys, on your guys' habits, and then also open that shit up. Pause! Don't say shit! How was the meditation? Bro. How was it? How did it feel? Better say something better than just good. It was good. It was tough. Head ass. It makes me feel like you guys didn't even do that shit. Didn't finish it. I lost the concept of time. What the fuck, bro? You didn't finish it? It was 30 minutes. All right, pause it. I'm just reading through all of you guys' stuff here. Bro, some of you guys are just not going to make this shit in trading. Just based off of these crazy ass responses. Like, it's not even, it's funny, but it's like funny because like, holy shit, y'all aren't even taking this shit serious. Someone said, I just nutted. It was so boring. I was stroking my shit mid-meditation, like, bro. All right. It's one less person that you guys need to worry about being in that 1% with you guys. I'll just leave it at that. Based on those answers and all that shit, you guys don't got to worry about being in the 99%. They already figured that shit out for themselves. After literally 2 days of the shit. All right. Let's get into risk management. All right. That's what today is going to be on. All right. We're going to talk about what it is. We're going to talk about why we need it. And we're also going to talk about how we can apply it. And then tomorrow is going to be a class that I've never done ever with their mastermind before. So that will be really interesting. You guys will be kind of like my guinea pigs for the first one of those classes ever. Okay, but I wanted to start today off checking in on those habits, on the meditation. Okay, so hopefully you guys have a good grasp of how much time you guys waste every single day. Some of you guys, I mean, based on those answers, maybe it's beneficial if you guys do that again. Sit on your hands this time. And dead ass try not to do anything. And then on top of that, just because you guys quit your habits today, I saw some people talking about like, oh yeah, like every time I relapse on my habit, I just punish myself. it just hit like a full day of me assigning you guys to break your bad habits, and you're telling me that you guys have already broke your bad like, that is the reason why you guys are unprofitable right there. Whatever bad habit that you said you guys were going to quit yesterday, and then you guys proceeded to do it today, that is the exact reason why you guys are not going to ever be profitable in trading, if you guys can't change that. Like, that in itself is the exact reason why you will never, ever make money in trading in your life. And if we can't fix that, we won't be able to do shit. Okay, like, because we're trying to break a habit right now that is easier to break than the emotional connection to money. And the fact that it's only been a day, and like the majority of you guys are talking about, oh yeah, like, it's hard, but I only relapsed twice, or like, you know, makes me lose a little bit of faith. But again, this is a two-way street, so this is really just about whether you guys want it or not. So let's get into risk management now. All right, we'll go ahead and talk about what it is. What is risk management? Okay. How can we manage our risk in the market to trade forever? Okay, so that's what risk management is. How can we manage our risk in the market so that we never lose our trading account ever and can in turn trade forever? Okay, so how are we able to do that? By not full porting, because full porting, what does that mean? We're risking our entire account on one trade, and we obviously know that losing is a part of this game. Okay, and then how else can we do that? By understanding your own strategy, your win rate, and your risk to reward. Okay, so again, I kind of want you guys just to think about this, because risk management is a skill that you guys have to learn. It's part of the big three: strategy, psychology, and risk management. Okay, we're no longer doing your guys' big three, which is porn, weed, and nicotine. We're doing strategy, risk management, and psychology from here on out. Okay, so we need to think, okay, risk management isn't just making a risk management plan and then sticking to it. We have to develop a risk management strategy, and we have to actually get good at the skill that is risk management. And risk management most definitely is a skill, and there are ways that you can be bad at it and good at it. And it doesn't only be like, and it's not only contained to over leveraging and over trading. It can be literally contained to where if you have a high win rate strategy but a low risk to reward, you should technically, for more gains, you should be risking a little bit more than 1% per trade, because you understand that you have a high win rate. Okay, so if you're risking low percentages of your account every time, like let's say you're risking 0.5% of your account every single time with a really high win rate but a really low risk to reward, you're doing yourself a disservice, and in turn you have bad risk management. Versus if you go heavier on the risk because you know that your win rate is high and you know that you have a bad risk to reward, okay, you guys are going to benefit from that. And in turn, you guys would have good risk management as a skill. Risk management as a skill isn't just straight up thinking, okay, I'm going to risk 1% every single time, okay? And we're going to get into like kind of the breakdown, and we're going to get on the chart. We're not going to do any chart work, but I'm going to show you guys like what it looks like in terms of calculations with win rate, risk reward, and all of that. Okay, and then on top of that, you guys have to understand your own risk tolerance, and that's going to be different than everybody else, because again, for us to be successful traders, we can't have the emotional connect to money be in there. So how can we, hear me out, how can we risk the most possible so that we are still using good risk management within our strategy, our win rate, and our risk to reward, and also by staying within our own risk tolerance? Okay, and there's two ways to think about this. Either you have a really high risk tolerance and you want to be risking 50% of your account size every single trade, but you know that it's not smart because your strategy, win rate, and risk to reward tell you otherwise. So in turn, you have to have good risk management and not do that. Or your strategy, your win rate, and your risk to reward are telling you, hey, you're allowed to risk this much, but your risk tolerance, like to the point where you start to get emotionally attached to money, gets hit and you can't get past that. So in turn, you have to size down. Right? So like, let's say I start getting emotional about placing trades whenever I start seeing 5 figures. I'm really good at making trades when everything stays in the hundreds of dollars, but once I start seeing thousands, that's when I start freaking out. That's when I start getting that emotional connect to money. So in turn, what's going to be best for me is staying in that hundreds range and figuring out how can I end up breaking that emotional connect. How can I end up breaking that emotional connect to those thousands of dollars so that I can continue to progress? Okay. Now, moving forward. Why do we need it? So, like I mentioned in this, how we manage our risk in the market, or how can we manage our risk in the market to trade forever? Why do we need risk management? So that we can trade forever and so that we can live to trade another day. Okay, the way that I like to use this as an analogy is I like to talk about trading as a game. Okay, and I know, sorry guys, I keep yawning. And I know you guys, what was I saying? Yes, think about it like a game. And I know you guys have played video games in the past, right? And you guys start gaining levels over time. But let's say you guys have been playing and grinding on this game and you guys have made a shit ton of progress. And then one day you make a mistake that you know you're not supposed to make, but you did it anyways because you thought there was going to be no consequences in that game, and everything just goes to zero. You guys would be pretty pissed off. And that's how the trading game works, because our level is almost directly correlated, or for the most part, it's directly correlated to our account balance, our win rate, and our risk to reward. Okay, so let's think about this. Do we want to get set back to level 0 every single day, day in and day out? Definitely not. We want to be continuing to make progress, especially once we start making money within this. And unfortunately for us, risk management has a direct correlation to money, so it's hard to have this lesson at the beginning when, especially when I'm trying to tell you guys not to think about money. But I want you guys to just take this for what it is. Okay, moving forward, I want you guys to think about your trading account as levels and numbers going up as XP, as experience points. Okay, because again, there's 2 ways or 3 ways that we can see experience, okay? Not only trading account, but risk to reward and win rate. Because at the beginning, when you guys are unprofitable, which you guys are right now, it's hard to see progress when you guys are unprofitable. It's really fucking difficult. And the only way for you guys to be able to see progress when you guys are unprofitable, it will never be through your trading account, because your trading account is consistently going to keep going lower and lower and lower, and thank goodness we're on demo. Right? But there is a way to track our progress through, hey, is my average risk to reward ratio per trade getting better and better? hey, is my average win rate per week or per month getting better and better? And that way we can gauge like, okay, I actually am becoming a better trader even though the account balance doesn't necessarily reflect that yet. Okay? And by doing all of these things, by not getting set back to zero and by seeing progress on our account, it helps us play the game of trading because it gives us metrics that we can actually look at, that we can aspire and strive towards. Again, opposite of money, because again, when we think of trading, most of the time, the only metric we can ever think of in trading is how much money did you make today? And that is not how we should be thinking. We should be thinking about this as a game of how can I become the best at predicting price? Remember the wording and the way that we think about this. Okay, we want to be thinking, how can I be the best at this game of predicting where price wants to go? Well, it's not all about money. It's about win rate. It's about risk to reward. And then also money can be another metric. But I don't want us to be thinking about that right now because we're not profitable. And if we're not profitable, what are the metrics that we can use to measure? It's going to be risk to reward and win rate. And there's going to be a certain time when your risk to reward won't necessarily, like, I don't want to say like has a cap on it, but it's going to get to a point where you're either one of two traders, or coming out of this, you guys will be either one of two traders. You guys will either be a trader with really good risk to reward, so like 1 to 5, 1 to 8, 1 to 10 risk to reward, but a low win rate, or I'm so sorry. Whew. Or you guys will have a high win rate and a relatively lower risk to reward. And that's what I am. I'm high win rate and I'm a lower risk to reward. I'm not one of those 20 risk to reward people because the way that I like to play the game is I like to win. I'm a competitive person and I get really pissed off when I lose trades, and plain and simple, my emotions can't handle me losing as many times as a 1 to 20, 1 to 10, 1 to 5 risk to reward trader can trade. Some of you guys are built for that though. And some of you guys don't even mind having a bad win rate, and you guys like having those really high risk to rewards so that like one trade can make your entire month. Okay, me personally, I like having a higher win rate and a smaller risk to reward. And that's really like the two traders that you guys will become out of this. And then as you guys start to progress, again, I don't necessarily want to say that there's like a cap on your guys' risk to reward or win rate, depending on which one you guys are, because there's obviously going to be continuous times where there's going to be room for improvement on both of those metrics. But there's going to get a point in your trading career where you don't necessarily see as much growth in one of those, depending on which one you are. Okay, and on top of all of that, risk management is necessary for us to get good at the game. Okay, because if we don't have risk management, we will just keep getting set back to zero after full porting day in and day out. Okay, and if we do that, then it's impossible for us to get good at the game. And it's also impossible for us to get good at the game if we aren't using the metrics of risk to reward and win rate to track to see if we're actually getting better. Because what happens if we keep trading and we just keep trading and the only thing that we're using as a metric is money being made? It's a pretty horrible metric when we know that it's going to take longer than just like a week or a month for us to turn profitable. So when we're adding new confluences, so when we're journaling trades, we need to be writing down risk to reward, and we need to be writing down win rate and tracking that stuff. So one, we can actually see if we're making progress and not losing progress. Okay, and two, so that it can give us a light at the end of the tunnel, right? A lot of you guys are probably going to start off with a horrible win rate, and most of the time, a good, decent risk reward is pretty easy to get. Okay, but you guys are probably going to start with a bad win rate. Wow. Most of the time, you guys are going to start with a bad win rate. And the only way for you guys to track your progress will be through tracking that metric, because the account number is not forever, but is going to be going down continuously as time goes on. Okay, next up, before we get on the charts and I can kind of draw out and show what I mean to say. And also, I might take you guys over to the cold plunge with me, and I might jump in that bitch because I'm so, like, I keep yawning. But anyways, risk as a skill. You guys suck at it right now, but it will get better with time, okay? So just like strategy, actually, most of you guys are probably pretty good at strategy because it's the thing that you guys practice the most. But similar with psychology, you guys definitely suck at it right now, which is okay, and you guys will get better with time and as your strategy develops. Okay, because as your strategy develops, your win rate will either get better or worse, and then in turn, you guys will learn more about your strategy. Both of these are kind of hand in hand. Okay? And again, this is just like that house analogy where your first house, it's going to suck. Okay? And it's, we have the blueprint, we kind of understand what to do. But as time goes on and as we start placing more and more trades, we're going to be able to figure out a risk management strategy even better. Okay? So, it's nothing that I want you guys to get discouraged about right now, but you guys are pretty bad at it, and you guys will get better as time goes on. Okay? And then on top of that, developing a risk management plan and strategy is as important as your execution strategy. Okay? And just like I was saying before, don't overlook it because it's part of our big three in trading. Okay? So, again, developing a risk plan is going to be even more in depth, and a risk strategy is going to be even more in depth than just, hey, we're going to risk 1% every single time. There are ways for you to instantly benefit your trading by developing a risk management plan and a risk management strategy combined with an execution strategy to literally increase your win rate and increase the amount of money that you're making as long as you're profitable by 20%. Without a doubt in my mind, there are ways for you guys to do that. Okay, so with that being said, I want to go on the charts here. Bro, I literally cannot stop yawning. And start writing some of this stuff down so you guys can kind of get the picture. Okay, so let's say we have this is one type of trader. A good win rate trader and a decent risk to reward trader. And then this is a bad win rate trader, low win rate, and a good risk to reward trader. If both of these guys risk 1% per trade and this person's risk to reward outweighs their win rate, they will be profitable. And if this person risks 1% per trade and this person has a positive win rate or just a win rate and a risk to reward slightly over 1-to-1, they will be profitable. But is that the most beneficial to trading strategies? Not necessarily. Because for this person, let's say their win rate is 10%, bro. But their risk to reward is 1-to-20. they will still be profitable by risking 1%. But since they have a 10% win rate, okay, and again, that's pretty drastic. Let's say it's like a 20%. Would it be smart for them to risk 1% per trade every single time? No, it would be smart for them to risk less. This type of trader wants to risk less, okay? Because they have a low win rate, which means they're losing time and time again, but one win ends up making up for all of those losses and putting them in for a profit. But if they have such a low win rate, then that technically means, okay, so like out of 100 times, they'll only win 20 of them, which might sound like a lot, but it's really not. Okay, what happens if they lose? What happens if they just go on a crazy losing streak and they're risking 1% of their account, okay, on 100 trades? Let's say they have 100 trades, they're risking 1% per trade, and let's say this metric is true to the dot, and they lose 80 trades in a row. They're left with 80% of their account balance completely gone. That's not a good risk management strategy for them when they know for a fact that that could very well happen with their win rate. Right? So in turn, they're going to want to risk less than 1%, maybe 0.25, maybe 0.5, okay? Because then when those wins start coming in, they will still have a decently large account. If they risk 0.5, then, okay, they've only lost half of their trading account, which still is pretty drastic. But again, if we're risking 0.5% of the account and then we get a 20x return on it, that's pretty freaking good. We're pretty much back in business. And then what happens if the next trade after that hits too? Okay? And let's say we get all of that 20% right after, right? We're going to be severely in the green. Okay, and then if you're going to be this trader, which honestly I assume that most of you guys are going to be this type of trader. It's just more typical, more often than not. Most people are higher win rate, decent risk to reward traders. Okay, so let's say you have a 80% win rate. It's pretty freaking good. If you have an 80% win rate, I forget what the metric is on this. First of all, I'm pretty sure you only need a 1 to 0.3 risk to reward in order to be a break-even trader, which is ridiculous. So in this case, we can go a little bit heavier on the risk. Why? Because we know that we're winning the majority of the time. And we know that our risk to reward isn't going to be as crazy as 1 to 20. It's more going to be like 1 to 2, or 1 to 1, or 1 to 3. So instead of risking the tiny itsy bitsy spider amount, because our risk to reward is lower and because our win rate is higher, we're going to want to be risking more. Because if we risk baby food numbers, we're going to get baby food results on this as this type of trader. Okay, because if I'm winning 80% of the time, I'm going to want to place slightly higher risk, knowing that because I'm winning 80% of the time, I'm going to have a lower risk to reward. So in turn, I want to be able to still capitalize on the fact that I'm winning 80% of the time and that I have a low risk to reward. And the best trader of all has both of these. And then they can risk whatever the fuck they want. Okay, but it's really, really insanely difficult to be able to do this. Okay, and I'm not at this point yet. I'm striving to be there, but it's really, really difficult. Okay, so most of you guys are going to be in one of these two categories, and we just laid out how you guys can kind of develop a risk management strategy depending on what type of trader you are. Now, getting even deeper into this, let me get rid of all the shit. So tired, boys. So tired, but I'm here for y'all. Damn, bro. Bet. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you guys about your homework first, and then I'm going to circle back on why I'm going to make you guys do the homework. Okay, and this is going to be similar to the habits homework, where this should be something that you guys start and never stop. Never, ever, ever, ever stop. Okay, so your homework is to start journaling your trades. Remember you guys started off on demo yesterday? Cool. Now we need to be journaling our trades. And if you're like, TJR, how is this going to help? You want to become a good trader, right? You want to actually become a good trader? This is how you can do it. You start journaling your trades and you start figuring out what the fuck went wrong. Okay, because right now you guys are unprofitable. And again, I'm going to try and change that through discipline, through risk management, and through strategy. But even after this, remember what we said yesterday, you guys still aren't necessarily going to be at that peak skill set yet. And this is going to help you guys get there. Okay, by journaling your trades, you guys are going to write this down. Have a notebook for your journal trades, or like a Google Sheets, a Notion template, whatever you guys want to be able to journal. Okay, and then write these things down. Have them as like columns. Okay, you are going to say, what caused you to enter? So what confluences? And be as detailed as possible. What confluences did you use to enter? What was your overall bias going into the day? What pair was it on? Etc. Okay, so maybe the example was, okay, today I took a win on NASDAQ. My overall bias was long for the day. We had a high time frame liquidity sweep. And from there, I scaled down into the 5 minute. I saw a break of structure. I saw a fair value gap get filled. I scaled down into the 1 minute. And I waited for a break of structure after the 5 minute fair value gap got filled. And that was why I entered. Something like that. Not too difficult to write down after you guys take a trade. And the goal is for you guys to write this down right after you guys take the trade. So you guys can't go back on yourselves and go back on it. So write that down. Boys, a brother is suffering. I never realized that this would happen. I can't believe this is happening. How tired I am. Okay. Moving forward. I want you guys to write down what the risk to reward was. Whether it was a win or a loss. What was the risk to reward? Okay, and then moving forward, I want you guys to write down how much you guys risked. So how much of your account size did you risk? So again, confluences, bias, what your risk to reward was, how much was risked. Okay, and then because of all this data, we are going to be able to find our win rate. And then again, going back to that little markup thing that I did, we will be able to adjust our risk based on that. So after a full month of this data coming out, we'll be able to figure out the type of trader that we are. And we'll be able to figure out our win rate. We'll be able to figure out our average win rate and our average risk to reward. Again, I literally can't help it. My bet is that you guys will more than likely be on the higher win rate or relatively higher win rate and lower risk to reward side. If one of you guys is an outlier, that's okay. That's why I showed you guys both sides of the spectrum. You guys are probably going to want to de-risk a little bit. Okay, but we can adjust risk based on our win rate and our risk to reward. Okay, and this is our homework. And why is it our homework? I'll go ahead and explain this, and then I'll let you guys go. Okay, so first of all, we need to be doing this for several reasons. For honestly 3 reasons. The first reason is so that we can see what our headspace was like before we ended up taking the trade. Because once we end up taking trades, we always end up overanalyzing after we actually put risk on in the market, or even place demo trades. Like, I know how you guys are. You guys place a demo trade and then you guys start freaking out and start charting up more stuff, and you guys second guess yourself. Stop doing that. Okay, so by journaling trades, we're able to see what our headspace and what our thought process was before we placed the trade, before emotions got involved. Okay? And then by doing that, we can see exactly where we went wrong within our headspace and within our bias and within taking trades off of our confluence. So if we look back on our journal and we see, if we look back at our journal and we see, oh, I took a short, the 4-hour was bullish, the hourly was bullish, the 5-minute was bullish, but I thought it swept liquidity in the 1-minute broke structure to the downside. We will be able to go back and look at that headspace and be like, what were we thinking? Obviously, bad trade, obviously bad headspace to have, obviously lesson and mistake. Learn from that. We will no longer make that again. Okay, and the nice thing about journaling trades is it also keeps you accountable for every trade lost and for every trade won. So you guys can't hide from the fact that you guys are unprofitable traders by journaling your guys' trades. And if anything, it should be used as a piece of motivation. Okay, on top of what journaling trades will help us do by being able to see our losses, it'll help us see what we're good at. Okay, it'll help us see what we're best at. Okay, when we're actually winning. We can look back at winning trades and say, okay, why did I take this? Why was this correct? And you can also be able to look back on winning trades that might have been an accident, where you look back after the plate is traced. Oh, bro. After the trade is traced. That's how you know my shit is fucked up, bro. After the trade is placed, okay, you guys might look back on your journal entry and be like, wait a minute, I shouldn't have entered there. This shouldn't be a valid win. I'm going to remove that from my data so that I don't confuse myself, because I know traders that have been successful for like 3 months on end, right? And in like 3 months would honestly convince me too. Where like they go profitable for 3 months, and this is something that I knew that happened to a lot of traders during the COVID market, and happened to me too. We all thought that we were god traders because COVID obviously crashed the market, and then during that time, on any index, it was like every single day, the only thing that you could ever possibly look for was a buy. Like, you only looked for longs. And it worked every fucking time. So like, we all were just making ridiculous amounts of money, but for the wrong reasons. It was because we were in a recession market. So after the recession or whatever crazy world event had happened, and like, obviously the market is going to recover and continue up with pressure and volume. Okay. So by journaling trades, we're able to look back and say, okay, these ones are valid. How can I take more of those trades? Or, oh, I probably shouldn't have taken that trade. Probably wasn't a good idea. Okay, and then on top of that, journaling trades can show you what trades you suck at and what trades that you guys are best at. So we can literally get down as deep with risk management as to the fact where we start seeing, hey, every time I take a trade off of an order block, I have a 10% win rate. Well, maybe we should no longer be trading order blocks. Or let's say you notice that for whatever reason, and this is 1000% a true thing, people like taking longs more than shorts, or people like taking shorts more than longs. They feel more comfortable with a buy position, or they feel more comfortable with a sell position. And they find that they are way more profitable and have a much higher win rate when they're going long than they are going short. So what can we do with our risk management strategy? We can risk more on days that we're going long, because we can see by facts that, hey, on days that I go long, I have a better win rate. Obviously, this is going to be over a decent amount of time so that you guys can actually collect good data on this. Okay, but on longs, oh, I'm really consistent on, I have a really high win rate on longs, I can risk more. Versus, oh, I have a slightly smaller win rate on shorts, and but for whatever reason my risk to reward is better. De-risk, just like how we did with the low win rate and high risk to reward trader. Okay, or oh, I have a low win rate and a horrible risk to reward. Whenever I take shorts, every time I take a short, I end up losing. We no longer should be looking for shorts. And it can be literally as simple as you guys journaling trades and you guys seeing what confluences you guys are best at, what confluences you guys have the highest win rate with, what pairs you guys have the highest win rate with, what bias you guys have the highest win rate with, and then in turn developing a risk management strategy based on that. And that will literally, like, just by doing that alone, it will accelerate your trading in the numbers that you guys see, which is the money, but we're not focused on that for the time being. But it will, when you guys turn profitable, it will make you guys so much more money by doing this. Instead of just saying, yeah, I use risk management, I just risk 1% per trade. No, bro. Whoa. I'm dizzy. I literally am so dead. Okay. What else did I want to cover? The confluences, the shorts and longs, one type of trader to another type of trader. I'll be like this for a couple weeks. Are you dead ass? When you went off of caffeine? Jeez, boys, it's gonna be a brutal grind for me. Me and you guys are gonna be locked in. Hey man, I'm quitting something that I really like that low key is beneficial to me. But yeah, boys, I'm pretty sure that covers pretty much everything. We ended like 8 minutes earlier than I expected us to, but that pretty much covers everything that I have for risk reward. Does this hopefully expand how you guys think about risk reward? Because it's not as simple as just, oh, I'm going to risk 1% every single day. Because if we were the low win rate and high RR trader, then that would be horrible for us. And also, it would be just as bad if we're the high win rate trader with the low risk to reward, because we would want to be risking more. Okay, and then also, how can we scale even further down? We can look at, okay, we can find out our win rate and we can adjust risk based on that as we start journaling our trades. And then on top of that, we can figure out what confluences we're best at trading, what biases we're best at trading, okay, figuring out our average risk to reward, how much was risked each time. This will literally instantly impact your guys' trading if you guys are able to do this. And this is something I forgot to mention. There's already platforms that can do this shit for you. Okay? Like, there's already platforms that can do this shit for you. TradeZella is a good one. Not a promo. Umar Ashraf owns that company. It's a great trade journaling platform. I may or may not have a code. I know he set up a code, but I don't remember what it was. It was either code TJR or code TJR15. And you can literally directly connect your brokerage to his platform, and it'll do all of this for you, give you guys your win rate, what your risk to reward is, and then you guys just have to write in your confluences and your bias. But it takes out a lot of this stuff for you, okay, and automates it. But that doesn't, that shouldn't stop you guys from doing this anyways. Okay? So, boys, with that being said, I appreciate it. That finishes up risk management. Okay, and tomorrow we are going to get into some serious ass shit talking about strategy, and then next week we are going to go into, geez, man, appreciate the W's. Go to slide 5, yeah. But anyways, we are what was the name of the trade journal? TradeZella. TradeZella. I'll take you guys to the cold plunge with me if you guys want me to. Yeah? Okay, fuck it. Let's go. I'm going to turn this off and then I'm going to get back on my phone. All right? Let's go. You guys are crazy. All right. I'm grabbing a towel real quick. Bruh, this shit's going to be bad. First mastermind to get a cold plunge from me. Damn, at least it's hot out. Let me stand in the sun for like 2 seconds. Soak this shit in. Feels so good. Okay. All right, boys. I might. I'll. I don't. I can't do the timer. Shit looks fucking scary. Y'all are fucking crazy. Can't believe you guys are like you guys got me to do this shit. You guys are so stupid. All right, boys. Woo! All right, man. Fuck. All right, here we go. Fuck. I will put my head under. Just give me a second. Woo. Suffering, boys. Oh. All right. It's been around like a minute. I'm gonna get out after 2 minutes. Jeez, chill with the Thanos ass. Yeah, the nips are fucking bricks right now. All right. Chill. What the fuck? red dunker, and then I'm out of this bitch, boys. I'm gonna set you guys up just because I want to dunk my entire body. So chill. All right. Woo! Ha! Woo! Damn. Oh. Man, felt good. All right, I'm out of here, boys.